Most of us think of a narcissist as a person who is an arrogant, self-centered braggart who can't stop talking about themselves. Sure, they're easy to spot, but there's another type of covert narcissist that's much harder to recognize, and these are the ones that can sneak into your life and cause all kinds of problems. In this video, I'm going to share 5 warning signs that the person you're dating is a covert narcissist. So don't go anywhere because we're starting right now. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Antonio Borello and I'm a psychologist and relationship coach. This channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. So if you're interested in making your love life the best part of your life, start now by clicking the subscribe button and then the bell notification so you aren't missing anything. Okay, on to our topic. 5 warning signs that the person you're dating is a covert narcissist. Have you ever heard the saying, the most dangerous villains never publicize their wickedness? That's because if they are easy to recognize, it's more likely that they'll be caught. Likewise, when a person is loud and boastfully dominates a conversation with exaggerated and grandiose stories of their accomplishments and achievements, you'll easily recognize their narcissism and move away quickly. At least I hope you would. These narcissists are loud and vain and easy to spot. They flaunt their money and their possessions, and they're desperate to be the center of attention at every occasion. But if we get too focused on this conception of narcissism, we can miss the more dangerous signs that have nothing to do with being wildly extroverted or arrogant or grandiose. In fact, covert or introverted narcissism is far more common and obviously more difficult to recognize. And because they are difficult to recognize, it's much easier to get caught up in a relationship that you'll soon recognize is far from normal. So, what is covert narcissism and what are the warning signs to look for? Covert or introverted narcissists are just as convinced that they're better than others. But because they have such a fear of criticism, they often shy away from and even seem panicked by people and attention. Covert narcissists believe that they have unrecognized intelligence and hidden gifts. They often see themselves as more understanding of and more attuned to the intricacies of the world around them. They really believe that they are different from most people, that they are inherently special and gifted. To an observer, these people appear fragile and hypersensitive. For example, in a conversation, they're keen to any change in your tone or a brief look away, or if you mistakenly say a word out of context, they'll quickly demand that you tell them the hidden meaning behind what you just said or did. They'll say things like, "What did you mean by that?" Or "Why are you turning away?" And covert narcissists are often bad listeners because they're endlessly preoccupied with how they measure up to everyone else. Because they still have a relentless need to feel special. So they obsess over numbers at work or compare themselves to anyone who exceeds them in looks or talent or achievement. In other words, they're constantly consulting with some imaginary scoreboard in their head. But regardless of whether they are an overt or covert narcissist, some things always remain the same. Narcissists are driven to feel special or stand out from everyone else. They are addicted to feeling special and they become more and more willing, the higher they are up in the trait, to do whatever it takes to get their high, including stealing and cheating, just like any other severe substance abuser. And the more addicted a narcissist is to feeling special, the more likely they are to develop pathological narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder. And as a reminder, in case you've forgotten why being in a relationship with a narcissist is so bad, let me tell you the 3 main reasons. Number 1, narcissists will exploit you. That means that they will do whatever it takes to feel special at the cost to those around them. Exploitation is a pattern of doing anything necessary to get ahead or stand out, including hurting other people. An extreme narcissist may suffer incredible withdrawal or periods of anger and sadness and fear and shame until they can sneak, demand, borrow, or steal their next dose of attention. If feeling special means taking the credit for someone else's work, so be it. If they have to criticize others to feel superior, even if that means throwing their partner's self-esteem under the bus, they will. In essence, this means that self-esteem enhancement for them is more important than you could ever be to them. When their self-esteem dips, they become grandiose and insist that they are special, perfect, and omnipotent, while they'll have no problem devaluing other people as inferior to them. So, as the closest person to them, they're likely to devalue you in order to feel more important. In other words, when they feel fat, they're going to complain about your weight. Number 2, they have an extreme sense of entitlement. Exploitation and entitlement are closely linked. Because they truly believe that they deserve to be treated as the smartest or most beautiful or most caring person in the room, they make it happen. They don't wait for good fortune or goodwill on the part of others to give them what they want. Instead, they simply take it. They act as if the world owes them and should bend to their will. The narcissist feels completely entitled to disrupt and in some cases destroy the lives of others so his needs and desires are met. And along with extreme self-entitlement is an unrelenting ruthlessness. If you're between a narcissist and his goal, even if you're his spouse or his child, be prepared for this person to overrun you to get wherever they think they need to be. Number 3, they have empathy impairments. They become so fixated on the need to feel special that other people's feelings cease to matter. Narcissists lack emotional empathy, and the lack of emotional empathy means that narcissists do not feel bad when they hurt you. They might not even notice your reaction, and if they do, they are highly unlikely to care. And if you complain, they will deny responsibility and say, you're too sensitive, or they'll blame you and say things like, if you weren't so stupid, I wouldn't have to correct you so often. And besides a complete lack of empathy, narcissists rarely apologize because they find it too humiliating to accept blame, even when they clearly know that they were wrong. It's highly unrealistic to expect a narcissistic partner to apologize. However, what they will do is later on make sweet little gestures that are their equivalent to an apology, like buying you a present or taking you somewhere special. Okay, so now that you know why narcissistic relationships are so bad, here are the 5 signs that can alert you that you're dealing with a narcissist. Number 1, emotion dodging or emotional unavailability. One of the most obvious signs that you're dealing with a narcissist is emotion dodging and emotionally unavailable. So deep down, narcissists are very insecure and have tremendous difficulty with feelings of vulnerability. And as a result, they dodge and avoid any expressions of insecurity and fear and hurt. They avoid showing their vulnerability at all costs and often change the subject when feelings come up, especially their own feelings. Narcissists imagine themselves as perfectly self-sufficient and invulnerable to other people's behaviors and feelings. So they won't let you know when they feel unsure or hurt by something that you've done. Instead, they lash out in anger combined with a show of superiority. They become condescending, and they might even point out all the ways that you're lacking. Their main goal is to hide that you've affected them somehow. And some narcissists won't even admit to their anger, and they claim that I'm not yelling while they're in the midst of yelling. That's how far they'll go to avoid acknowledging emotion. Number 2, emotional projection. Because narcissists have difficulty coping with their emotions, they often try to rid themselves of negative emotions by claiming or accusing others of having that very experience. Narcissists not only project their negative feelings on their partners, they actively coerce or stir up and convince their partners that they are experiencing that feeling. For example, a narcissist may lash out and rage at their partner, accusing them of always being angry. Then they continue this tirade until their partner is angry. And narcissists often say and do things to make their partners question or doubt their attractiveness, their intelligence, their accomplishments, and their competence. Doing so makes the narcissist feel like they can shine in comparison. Number 3, exerting narcissistic control and imposed isolation. Narcissists have a constant need to remain in control and stay in charge because when they are not, they may have to depend on another person to get what they want, and they can't stand to be at the mercy of other people's preferences. It reminds them that they aren't invulnerable or completely independent, and they might have to ask for what they want, and even worse, people may deny them their requests. So rather than express needs or preferences themselves, they often arrange events and maneuver people to orchestrate the outcomes they desire. But as with most of the red flags, these efforts at control are often more subtle than outright abuse. Instead, the narcissists have a way of making you feel nervous about approaching certain topics or sharing your own preferences. And they make your choices feel off limits without expressing any anger at all. Instead, they might give you a disapproving look, or they will give you a last-minute phone call to preempt your plans, or be chronically late whenever you're in charge of arranging a night together. Again, they arrange events behind the scenes to get what they want. For example, You make plans to go out with your girlfriends on a Saturday night, and then suddenly the man you're dating gets front row tickets to see your favorite band on the same night. So they are effectively preempting the plans you might have made by planning to do something extravagant and presenting it to you as a surprise that they know you can't refuse. And this type of control happens gradually and subtly, and slowly, without even realizing it, you fall into another person's plan, preferences, or desires. Another way they gain control over their partners is by isolating them. Imposed isolation begins with your partner criticizing and questioning and making unwelcome your closest friends and social network. Abusers will try to make you feel guilty for wanting to spend time with friends and family. For example, a woman might avoid an evening out with her friends because she knows her partner is jealous and she's afraid of his reaction afterward. But of course, he'll mask his jealousy and flip the conversation towards questioning her motives for wanting a night out in the first place. Number 4, idealization or placing people on pedestals. Narcissists often elevate their new partners to unrealistic levels and place them on a pedestal. This allows the narcissist to feel special by association. Their belief? I must be pretty amazing if she's with me. And this idealization or love bombing is one of the more difficult warning signs to accept. The narcissist may claim that you're perfect for each other, that it's love at first sight, that you're soulmates, and other romantic sounding things. Unfortunately, the desirability of this behavior gives controlling narcissists the best opportunity to gain total control over your schedule and over your life. Number 5, smear campaigns against prior lovers during your honeymoon period. In an abusive relationship, the honeymoon period is an illusionary calm before the storm. The narcissist holds themselves back until they gain their partner's trust and love. They're on their best behavior, which makes seeing their true colors much more difficult. Still, they are often more than willing to discuss their past relationships, which can give you valuable insight and possible warning signs. So, when talking about their history, narcissists often describe past lovers as unstable and crazy and abusive. In addition, they may even explain their smear campaign. They may even explain the smear campaign that they waged against former lovers at the end of the relationship. So pay attention and listen for examples of triangulation or validations from a narcissist support network. Of course, they hide behind a cloak of feigned innocence as they explain their genuine concern for the well-being of past lovers. Pay attention to how they talk about other relationships. You'll be surprised at what you might learn. None of these signs in isolation proves that you're with a narcissist. But if you see a lot of them, it's best to sit up and take notice. They're all a way of dodging vulnerability, and that's a narcissist's favorite tactic. So, regardless of which signs they display, people who chronically avoid acknowledging feelings are incapable of deeper intimacy and true loving relationships. They're too internally preoccupied with their own fears or judgments to be able to genuinely share in a relationship. But can they change? Is there a way to reach them or help them or support them? Maybe. In an upcoming video, I'm going to discuss how you can effectively deal with narcissistic lovers and family and friends. So if you aren't already subscribed, now is a good time to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to make sure that you don't miss that video. Remember, the people you love can't change if they're unwilling to acknowledge their problems, whether they're drug addicts or alcoholics or extreme narcissists. If they can't get past their denial and begin to recognize their unhealthy patterns, it might be best for you to just move on. I'd love to hear your examples of the stealthy ways narcissists have snuck into your life. Leave a comment and let's start a discussion. That's it for this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe so you can build great relationships and grow happy with the people you love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.